and
Oh, sorry,
your
I just turned on the recording.
oh, okay. You want me to start again? Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you all so much for coming out this evening. Your participation and support through this preliminary process is so very fundamental. So I just wanted to start off by saying thank you for coming out. Your time is very valuable to myself and to the Aurora Foundation. And tonight will be so exciting. We're so excited this is an important step towards change and shaping the housing future for single moms in our community and students. And so we're so elated to have you be a part of this change, and we're so excited. So thank you. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Alysha Yard. I'll be your facilitator this evening. This is my first time, little disclaimer, it's my first time being a facilitator or host. So if anything is off or I mess up, don't charge it to me, okay? We're gonna flow together tonight. But I am a single mom, I'm a current student, and I'm pursuing my nursing degree. And I personally understand how difficult it is to be a mom and a student, juggling working full-time or part-time, juggling your classes, and just raising your children, everyday life. I understand that it can be very mentally and physically draining. And you're trying to ultimately reach your educational goals so that you can break the curse of poverty and also create a brighter future for yourself and your children. Prior to the pandemic, we know that the waiting list for affordable and subsidized housing has been extreme, like years even. And during the pandemic, the housing displacements have skyrocketed due to moms like me and you who've had to homeschool their children with no childcare. Everything was closed. And if you have no childcare, you can't go to work, and there's a lack of financial assistance and a lack of consistent resources and support. But what if we could change that? What if there could be affordable, supportive housing for single moms that are pursuing their degrees to make a brighter future for their families? That's our goal. I believe there should be consistent support for single moms and students while we obtain something so valuable as such as our education. So it takes a village, and we are so much better together when we partner together. We're more wiser, we're more powerful than ever. And that leads me to introduce some wonderful people at the Aurora Foundation. The first person I'd like to introduce to you is a wonderful lady named Jennifer Stedman. She goes by Jenny, and she's a phenomenal woman. She's also the executive director at the Aurora Foundation, and she's going to talk to you a little bit. All right, so take it away, Jenny.
All right. I'm going to just put up a couple of slides to make it a little more interesting. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. You can see my big smile is because how much I adore Alysha and how proud I am of her. She and Suzanne Levere, who is an Aurora supporter, the three of us have been putting our heads together for a couple of months now to think about what would change the game for women in Greater Hartford. That is really the mission of Aurora. The idea is that we raise money to provide solutions for what women and girls need. Last year, we hit the mark of having invested $1 million in the community over our 20 years of existence. So we're pretty proud of that. But we know that there needs to be a lot more. Our grant making right now focuses on programs that help more women get their college degrees, particularly first-generation college students, women of color, women of limited economic means, right? We want to make sure that they get the opportunities they need to succeed. And so one of the programs we fund is the great program that Alysha is part of, the YW Career Women Program. The fabulous Donna Sadipo is here tonight from that program as well. Megan was here from the Charter Oak Women in Transition Program. We fund these kinds of programs because we know the difference that they make. Women with college degrees in Greater Hartford make twice what women with GEDs make. So we want to build that economic power and security. So we do that through the grant making that I just talked about, but we also do research. So we just put out a big report about the impact of COVID-19 on women, and particularly on women of color in and across the whole state. And so it wouldn't surprise you to learn that we found, that a third of Black women were struggling and feeling like they didn't have the confidence to the money to pay their rent. That we really needed to extend eviction moratoriums and cancel rent arrearages and increase federal housing vouchers, right? And we know that childcare is a real issue. We were going to lose 50% of our childcare spots, that 92% of childcare businesses are women owned, right? So when those can't reopen, it has a kind of just multiplying economic effect. But we don't need to tell you guys this, right? You're living these experiences. So here's how you can follow us on social media. Always good. So we're excited tonight to hear from you, to hear your experiences. The vision for Aurora is for it to come to direct resources the way the women in the community tell us to direct them. So this is your chance to tell us tonight, and we truly appreciate you giving your time and telling us what you think. So I'm going to turn it right back over to Alysha.
Hey guys. Okay, so can you hear me? See me?
Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Okay, so thank you so much, Jenny, for explaining. That was really helpful and wonderful. She's such a wonderful part of Aurora. Also part of Aurora's, just to piggyback on what Jenny was saying, part of Aurora's mission is to amplify, oh my gosh, I'm tripping over my words. Sorry, guys. To amplify the voice of the women in our community. So I like to say, here I am. I'm showing up for all of us. I'm here for all of us. I'm here for our community, and partnering with such an amazing foundation to follow through with such a dynamic idea for the housing world, but also to push legislation to help us to succeed, to reach our goals. So this is where you guys come in, because we hope we're on the right path. And we need your help to imagine what it could be like to have supportive housing. We need your voice, which is why this forum is so important. Your voice truly matters in what would be helpful for you to succeed. A little order of service for tonight. There will be some poll questions. They're going to pop up on your screen. And I'll need your feedback on them. The poll questions are for single moms and students to answer. If you are like the head of Charter Oak or Jenny, the executive director, please do not give an answer to the questions. However, you are more than welcome, because I'm going to ask some questions after the poll questions. So everyone is able to join in on those questions, and you're welcome to join the dialogue, the conversation, and to give your feedback. That's super important. And my last disclaimer is, please don't be shy. I am shy and I'm a little nervous, but we're going to get through this tonight together. And this is your time to speak. This is your time for your voice to be heard. What do you need? How can we help you? What would be important for you? And I'll ask specific questions. And then towards the end, we'll give away some gift cards. So we're excited. Just let me know, Marie, when you're ready for the poll questions, and we'll get started.
Marie It doesn't like that you are on. You might have to do the poll questions.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
Nope,
no.
here we go.
It's
I can,
okay.
totally fine. I've got it. Here we go.
Are you able to do them?
Are you asking me, Jenny?
No, I'm asking Marie. But
Oh,
she's-
can you not see that? It says.
No,
the
Marie,
poll-
I've got
They're
it.
up.
Questions 1 and 2 are up. Is everyone
Yeah,
else, can
I
others
feel
give a thumbs up if you can see the questions?
Yes, I think people are, because I feel like I'm in a game show because I can see the progress.
Oh,
Okay, good.
Bear with us, and we've got about 87%, which makes sense because if there's a few administrators on here. So I'll wait a second and then I will end
can
it.
you see them, Alysha?
I can't see them, no.
Okay.
Maybe because it's strange that you can't.
Because I can't see them either.
I just see poll in progress.
Oh, okay.
We've got, we have about almost a 90%. Yeah, we have 78% have voted. So if you put in the chat, if you can't see it, and then we'll try to figure that out. But it could be, I think some people may have connection, but we look like we have about, I'm going to end it now and then we'll see what we see in the chat. But it looks like a lot of people, we got some great responses. So I'll end this one.
Do you want to tell us the results, Marie, maybe, since you can
Yeah.
see it?
Oh, sure. Sorry. I thought that it was going to show it. So it says, is paying for housing a challenge for you? 89% yes, 11% no. Oops. And it just, it went to, oh, now I can share results. Here we go. So everybody,
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I see it.
thank you all for bearing with us.
We haven't done polls before. It's exciting new Zoom world
Yes.
for us.
So there you go. So you can see that?
Yeah, I can see it. Which is
Yes,
good.
so 89% yes and 11% no. And do you currently receive subsidies? 83% no and 17% yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the question based off these answers. So my first question is, do you feel, well, actually, I'm gonna change that. My first question is, as a single mom, I understand that paying your rent can be very difficult. What else is very difficult for you, or what is the hardest thing for you being a single mom and a student?
Finding quiet space so that everyone can do their work, having adequate Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I was going to say, being an online student, it's just, I think the expectation that we would, Jay, hush, that we have like all the free time in the world to just, because it's online, we could just do it whenever we want. It doesn't like really matter. Versus like, you know, when you're at a school, when you actually go to school, you have a more dedicated period of time where you don't have the kids with you.
Okay.
And you versus we're always having to take care of the kids regardless.
Right.
I
That's
don't
good.
have any free time away from them. If they're sick, if they're tired, if they're hungry, I still have to get my schoolwork done.
Right. Very
For
understandable.
example, for me, my youngest daughter just had surgery last Wednesday in Boston. And in the midst of that, I have an 8-year-old, then, you know, work full time and then school full time. So it was like in the midst of all of that, trying to juggle. And then being that I recently started the job less than a year, you know, I had to take unpaid time off just, you know, as my daughter is recovering. So it's like, well, how do I make ends meet. So, thank God for per diem jobs and them being flexible. Like, for example, right now, I'm at one of my per diem jobs. So, I'm at work, just finished an assignment, logging into the Zoom. So it's like, people would say, oh my God, you have everything under control. But little do they know, you make it look easy, but it's not easy.
Right. Wow, that's a lot. Thank you, Karina.
Hi, everyone. This is Shonda. I can piggyback off of what both ladies have shared. It does seem to even our educators sometimes that things appear that, we have all this spare time to get our work done and juggle whatever household or full-time work responsibilities, but it really isn't that easy, especially for single mothers. A lot of us don't have a strong support system or, life continues to go. We have to continue the pace and make sure that everything is met first and foremost for the children, but then still try to juggle our own responsibilities. In regards to the financial aspect, I know for myself, the biggest thing as far as finances was paying for childcare when it was needed, as well as trying to make sure that my education was paid for or the internet was available for me to do online courses.
Right. Very understandable, very relatable. Anyone else?
In the chat, Aziza wrote, this rent issue is not only for single moms, but all women who are newcomers and are low income. And then Sri wrote, having adequate, reliable, safe childcare when you need to study is such a valuable asset, especially if you have special needs children.
Yes. Agreed.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
I'm sorry. Hi, I'd like to piggyback off of some of the ladies too. Having the adequate space to do your schooling is important as well, especially when you have kids with challenges. I have a son with a speech delay, so and he's kind of hyper at the same time. So being able to do my work from home and be a babysitter to them and not having to pay someone or find someone that I can trust, it's hard. It's a struggle.
So that's gonna go ahead. I'm sorry.
I really relate to the parents that are special needs moms, because not only am I a single mother of 2 children, my 10-year-old is special needs and he's severely autistic. He's autism level 3, which he will be dependent on me for his entire life. He has the intellectual ability of a 3-year-old, and that's probably where he will be for his entire life.
We're here to give you support. So sorry, Megan. No need to cry.
And
we're all here for you. We all can relate on some level. And I understand how difficult it is.
It just, financial troubles just add to the everyday struggles that we already have.
Right. Well, this is why this is why we're talking. This is why we're having this conversation. So it's important that you're sharing these things so that we can hear and, figure out a good strategy to help you, because special needs children, your children, however you're dealing with life and everyone's struggling, it's very important that we support each other. So I really appreciate you for being vulnerable and sharing that. That was very, very nice.
You don't need to cry. Oh no, I don't.
Okay, I am going to, that kind of leads me into my next question.
Alysha, can I ask one follow-up, please?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, just thank you both. Alysha, great support and facilitation. And then Megan, I just wanted to see, are there things that would help? Because, that you may have had experience with, that if there were more of or access to, I think that might be helpful, to us as you're going through this educational, journey at this time.
I think sometimes access to things like respite care or childcare. Like I said, like a consideration, like there's nowhere in the financial aid aspect of school is childcare considered when we're in an online college. And just because we're online does not mean that we don't have childcare issues. Childcare is an issue for single parent, especially single mothers. It doesn't mean that just because we're online that, you know, I still have a 3.8 GPA and I'm almost done with school. But the only way that I've accomplished that is by staying up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning with the kids. I've gone through so many semesters getting 2 hours of sleep a night, and it's not feasible. So probably having some time where I can do schoolwork without it being from midnight to 4 a.m.
I read books at night.
We've
Yeah,
all
we
been
read books
there.
at night.
Yeah, we've all been there, Megan. Seriously, those late night struggles. The struggle is real, for real. But so it kind of leads me into my next question. So I think unanimously, everyone has, you know, given really good feedback and answers. So the cost of housing is an issue. So do you feel like that aspect, the cost of housing and inconsistent childcare or lack thereof, has deterred you from your educational goals?
The same poll from before popped up.
Same poll?
Yeah,
Okay.
the same poll, yeah. Nope, same poll.
Oh, okay. Going back. Let's go back. It's great when you figure it out. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. They're still steadily coming in. So we're at about 60%.
Marie, do you want to read the poll questions? Sorry,
Oh, sure. Oh, for those
I'm
of you
not, I'm sure they'll be on the recording. Yeah.
Okay, sure. What is your current rent? It's 500 to 850, 860 to 1200, 1210 to 1500, or more than 1500. And what could you afford for rent? 300 to 500, 510 to 1,000, or more than 1,000. And it seems as though we have 72%, which seems consistent with the last one. So I will see 76. I will end polling and see if I can share results.
Well done.
Right.
Wonderful. I see it.
So we have the current rent, the top is 860 to 1,200. Tied at 21% is 500 to 850 and 1,200 to 1,500. And then more than 1,500 is 11%. Wow. What could you afford for rent? 63%, 300 to 500, 26%, 510 to 1,000, and 11% more than 1,000.
Right. Thank you so much for your responses. Thank you, Marie. You're doing great. Wonderful. So my next question in regards to the poll questions is, since it seems like most of you pay more for rent, and paying is a challenge for you, and you can afford lower for rent. If you've ever experienced a hardship in your life, can you tell me what programs have helped you through those hard times? Some examples would be like the stimulus check, the rental assistance programs, school refund checks, anything like that. Anyone can jump in and answer.
Definitely the stimulus check, rental assistance if you have it, but sometimes, the rental assistance, they're going by your income, and it still is a big push when they say, oh, you make X amount of money, you can afford it. And it's like, take into consideration all the other bills, but, school reimbursement and definitely the stimulus.
Wonderful.
I would say that, I would say the stimulus has helped as well. Because even like myself, I have some type of rental assistance, but it is by income and it's fairly high compared to, others. So, I was backed up a little. So I had to use the stimulus in order to get back, ahead. So it's like, a lot of people are enjoying it, but I had to catch up on bills and they climb.
Agreed.
The money back from school helped me out a lot. The stimulus was already spent bills. I picked up second jobs and just worked more than one job. So that's what helped me.
Hi, Vanessa. It's nice to see you.
Hi.
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 I think the same with the other ladies. The stimulus checks helped a lot. The money that came back from the school helped a lot. One of the things that also helped me, I was in a really bad situation.
Hey, Mom.
You need to wait a second.
Hi.
And there was actually a crisis fund through Charter Oak that had assisted me for a portion of a problem that I was having, and that had helped me a lot.
Let me say bye to everyone else.
No, you don't hang up. But it's a combination. I don't think that any one thing in particular is going to fix anyone's problem. I think it's a combination of a lot of different things, and ensuring that you help yourself, that you advocate for yourself, and that you're not always depending on someone else, that that you're doing all the right things to get yourself like in the right place for your future. So, being in this program, is getting you in the right place.
Right. I agree. Anyone else?
What?
Okay.
I didn't know about the crisis program, but I wish I did. I had a few crises because by me picking up, I work three jobs, and I'm in school. And I have the boys. So with everything, it was hard. It was times when I miss assignment, times where I do my work mostly at work when I get a break at work, but I work in the daytime. I work overnight. In fact, I was supposed to be at work now. But I had to cut back. I had to cut back working three jobs, but I made that decision like just before COVID that I was going to pick up other job because I'm helping somebody else pay their mortgage and it's not benefiting me. So when I picked up the other jobs and everything, I worked with not the bank, but like I read up about credit, I fixed my credit. It was crazy. A couple of times I end up sick because my immune system was so low and I was stressed, but I was trying hard not to pay attention to the stress. So I wasn't taking care of my mental health. And, but I got through it. I'm graduating the 6th. And
Woohoo.
All right.
Congratulations.
thank you. And I just closed on my house
Wow.
like 2 weeks
Wow,
ago. So
that's wonderful.
yeah, but I had to sacrifice everything. Like the other day, my son said to me, "Oh, I don't care about the stuff that you can buy me," because I literally would just I hoover them everywhere because I'm always at work, or and I order food. I just like, okay, here's my car, order something for dinner because I'm never home. I'm never home to cook, do a home cooked meal. And I don't do things with them. So I had to sacrifice all of that to get this. And at the end of the day, I wish I could have did it differently, where I didn't have to work 3 jobs. I didn't have to sacrifice so much because I missed out on my kids. I couldn't help them during COVID time with online classes, and I couldn't take them anywhere, even when it was a COVID time. Like my son was venting, and he said, "When was the last time we did anything as a family? When the last time we went out to eat, or what did we do?" And I haven't been able to do that for the past 2 years or whatever. But I got tired. I got tired of paying somebody else's mortgage. I got tired of always trying to worry about um, the bounce checks, the negative balances in my account. I just got tired and said, I can't do this like this anymore. So yes, I lost a lot, but hopefully they'll realize the sacrifice that I had to make. It hurted. I cried for hours when my son said that. He just said this to me a couple of days ago. So even though I made that sacrifice and all this good stuff is happening, I haven't been able to enjoy it. But I knew I could not do it anymore. And I've used Section 8 in the past when I was in school. So when I saw that my income couldn't do it, I went back to school and got my LPN because it increased my income a lot. So that was another sacrifice. So I just got tired of being stuck. That was it. It was painful being stuck. And yes, I'm a single parent. I get no child support, none at all. I don't get food stamp. I don't get anything. So it was all sacrifice. And like she said, staying up at night trying to do work. My problem is being at work and the Wi-Fi doesn't work. So I can't do my papers, or I can't do this. I can't turn in stuff and, meet certain deadline because I'm always at work. The only reason why I'm really up now, because I would have been at work on this Zoom, but I overslept. That's why I'm even here, because I have a client that I was supposed to go to at 4, but because it's home care nursing, I still could have did my Zoom. But it's a lot of sacrifice, and I feel like single parent have to sacrifice so much to get what they need, to get where they have to be. And while they're doing this, nobody's taking care. Their mental is not being taken care of at all. I had a co-worker, that beautiful girl, and she come to work looking nice all the time, and then suddenly she start coming to school not groomed, or calling out sick all the time. So when she started calling out sick, she answers nobody phone calls. And 2 years ago in January, she committed suicide because she had all these stress going on in her life that nobody noticed. And nobody took the time to stop and ask. So when that happened, like, I reached out to my job and I was like, you guys got to stop and ask us, why are we calling out so much? Sometimes not because we want to call out, or why aren't we turning our assignments? Even the professor, just that simple thing as to ask a student,
It's okay.
why didn't you turn in your assignment? Or why haven't you logged on in a few days? It could be that they're going through something and they just couldn't. Like, I got stuck when my son said that to me, I got really stuck, and all I wanted to do just sleep and not think about anything. So just by somebody asking or reaching out and saying, how are you doing today? I noticed you haven't logged on in 2 days, or you didn't turn your assignment in. Is there anything I could do to help? That
Right.
means a lot.
Yeah. Well, Venice, I'd like to say I'm so honored by your vulnerability. You are not alone in the struggle and missing out on your children. I have a 9-year-old, and she is like, can we go do something fun? I'm so bored. And I'm like locked in my room studying, or I'm at work working 11 to 7, 7 to 3. I've been in the hospital due to dehydration because I've worked so many shifts in a row. And so I completely understand, but I would love for you to focus on the positives, girl. You are gonna graduate on the 6th, and I don't know you at all, but I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of your sacrifices and the things that you're doing for your children, and that's why we're here in this forum and we're talking, because we don't want this to be a continuation. We don't want to have to work 11 to 7, 7 to 3, and then 3 to 11, or oversleep our shifts because we're tired, or miss out on our children. There should be support for that, for single moms, because single moms, we really do go through a lot. Yeah, we really do go through a lot. So I really appreciate you sharing that. That was so wonderful. Honestly, I'm so honored. Your tears and your sacrifice and your struggles, it all paid off, and you're an inspiration too. All of us single moms, we all want to graduate. We all want to get the keys to our house, girl. We all want to do that. We are excited for you. So thank you, really. Anyone else have something to say, or we can go to the next poll question?
Sri, do you want to share what you put in the chat, where you had a professor tell you that your struggles with cancer and chemo should be second to your studies?
I can't see the chat, so I'm sorry. Thank you, Jenny.
No, that's okay. That's why I thought I would. She might not want to share other than in the chat, but I thought that was very a very hard story for her to share, and I really appreciated her sharing that with us.
Yeah, thank you. This is wonderful. This is a safe place. We're here to offer support, and I'm sending hugs and love to each and every one of you who are sharing these very difficult moments as moms and as students. And there should be a community that offers more support and empathy towards having to do it by yourself. It's hard. I've heard from other people who have the support, like moms, grandparents, or fathers involved in their child's life. It's hard for them raising a child, whether it's 1 or 2, but it's definitely like a bajillion times harder doing it by yourself, day in and day out. You get no breaks. As Megan said, you're in and out. You get no sick days as a mom. You get no call outs. You have to be there. And it oftentimes comes with sacrificing a lot of time away from your children to try to provide that better life. So we're here to,
So Sri did write again in the chat. She says it's pretty much exactly what happened. I ended up taking a break from my education after receiving such a invalidating comment, and just not feeling like I could even share my cancer status with anyone, all while the school was touting their accessibility resources and support for student struggle. I call BS. And DeQuante shared, yes, I too started to clear up my credit and attend a first-time homebuyers program to help with the task. I have to come up with the rest of the fees. I would have to work extra hours to be able to come up with the rest of the funds. Right, so there's a case of where there is like at least some support kind of programs, but right, that still would leave DeQuana with a real uphill battle there. And Karina wrote, Dennis, I would like to say you inspire me. Should we try for another poll?
Yeah.
I say, as I can't do it, and leave it up to
Oh,
Marie.
yes. It's perfect. That's,
Here we go. Can you see it?
yes, I can see it.
Jenny can't, so I will read them together. So do you feel safe where you live now? Yes or no? If you could, would you move to a different location? And what is your top priority for housing? Safety, cost, number of bedrooms, or transportation?
While you all are filling out the poll, Karina wrote an additional comment in the chat. Being a single parent is difficult, and I often doubt myself as a parent because of income, resources, and childcare.
Okay, so we're at the same percentage as before, 80% have voted. So do you feel safe where you live now? 70% yes, 30% no. If you could, would you move to a different location? 65% yes, 35% no. And what is your top priority for housing? 85%, oh, just shifted. 80% safety. Oh, I can share it in a second. 62% cost, 33% number of bedrooms, and 38% transportation. So let's see. Oh, 84% voted. I will see if I can share these. Like my
Oh, wonderful. I can see the
right.
results. Okay. Based off your answers, I'd like to ask, what towns or areas do you feel would be best for affordable quality housing? You guys have any ideal town? Okay,
I
Hampton,
think that they
Midtown.
need to start trying to provide affordable quality housing in towns that aren't your typical inner city town, like Hartford. I'm from, originally, I was born and raised in Norwalk. And when you couldn't afford to live in Norwalk, you had to go to Bridgeport or Stratford. When, you know, when it's around here, like if you got a housing voucher, you can't afford to live in Manchester, you have to go to Hartford or East Hartford. They push you out into areas that are deemed like a little less safe, that have, when you have children that have school systems that aren't necessarily the best, they don't have as many resources for your kids. So as soon as you don't have as much, then all of a sudden, then your children become victims of that too.
Understood. Can you or anyone name any specific towns or areas like West Hartford,
West
Bloomfield,
Hartford, Glastonbury,
Bloomfield, Windsor?
South Windsor would be nice.
Okay.
So also Daquana has put in Hamden, Meriden, West Haven.
Okay. Wonderful. So in terms of one of the poll questions, high answer was safety was important. So can any of you tell me what some of your educational goals are, and how do you think your housing situation right now directly affects it? So I'll give an example for myself. Like if I want to study and there's firecrackers going off outside because we're close to the 4th of July. So it's loud, and that sometimes can be a distraction. That's just my personal one. Does anyone else can share?
I have a really amazing one. It's almost unbelievable. I live in a building, it's called the CHR building, Community Resources, Health Resources. Some of my neighbors have mental health issues, and my neighbor decided to burn his apartment down.
Oh, no.
Oh,
And he left us all displaced during one of my first semesters at Charter Oak. So that was awesome.
wow.
I'm being very sarcastic. And I had originally moved to Manchester because my youngest son's father had attempted to kill me and my youngest son. So my support system, they moved us up here. It's basically to hide us. So my support system is very far away. So when they did that, I didn't have anyone around here to just like, oh, I have someone 5 minutes down the street to just go to their house and stay there. And, you know, my kids go to school here. So I had to pack up and like go to my parents, and yeah. So, you know, living around certain people like that, look at what happened to me.
Right.
And Daquana says in the chat, shootings and high crime rates. I really don't want to raise my 2 sons in New Haven.
Mhm.
And certainly we're seeing a lot of gun violence in Hartford right now.
Hartford.
Yeah. There's a lot. I live in Hartford, and the crime rate is very high. There are a lot of shootings. So I would like to piggyback off that, and I would like to ask, do you feel that your mental health has been affected due to your lack of support, or maybe like the environment that you live in, the safety aspects of it, while you're attending school?
Definitely.
Yes.
So this is Shonda again. For me, I answered yes to the safety question because for me, I feel like it's a constant target in the situation where I'm currently living, as far as my mental health. So for me, mental health ties into safety. Sometimes it's like I don't get the opportunity to chime into myself or my child as much as I need to because I am juggling so much. So, you know, not to give all my personal business out. So I am currently a full-time social worker. I'm the only social worker in my facility. So that means I'm carrying a caseload of close to 300 residents.
Oh my gosh.
Outside of having my son, who has, you know, other things that I need to focus on. He did have his own bouts with, you know, mental illness or depression through this whole COVID thing with everything changing. And I also have a grandmother who requires total care at home. So I'm juggling all of that. And I feel like a lot of times my biggest challenge is making sure that I cover everything, but also trying to tune into my son to see where he is. So for me, my assistance with my grandmother would be my mom, but our relationship is a little bit toxic. She's a little hot-headed, and I feel like that influences my son, and that toxicity is not good for him and is not good for me. So, you know, I want to give my son the opportunity to grow up differently than I did and try to break like the generational curses. Sorry. But I also feel like I have a responsibility to ensure that I make sure my grandmother's safe, she receives the best care possible, as well as make ends meet and show up at work like, you know, I don't bring my outside issues into the place because there's another whole set of people that are dependent on me to show up and carry out those responsibilities too. So for me, it's more so safety as it regards to my mental health and my peace and my child's as well.
Shonda, to me, you are a superhero, superwoman. That's a lot to have to deal with. And I appreciate you for sharing, because it's a heavy load to be a single mom and to manage life. And it comes at you super fast. But you're very strong. So thank you.
Thank
you for being, yeah, thank you. Anyone else want to share? I see something in the chat, Jenny.
Sri says, Shonda, we need more social workers like you who know how to be great advocates, but wonderful social workers like you also need advocates and support to have your back. And Daquana says, yes, I'm starting to feel traumatized by the police lights. And Carol says, hugs, Shonda, stay strong. And Denise said, you are making me cry. I truly agree with you, Shonda. So while we just have a break, if everyone can put their email address in the chat, we'll be sending everybody a gift card, an email gift card. So if you put your email in the chat, we will get that to you.
We have like 2 more polls to go. So can we go to the next poll, Marie? As everyone's everyone's putting their emails in the chat, but can we multitask?
Sure. I think can you see that?
It's up.
Yeah.
And I feel like this might be the last grouping, unless was there one that we missed?
Oh, no. Is this 3? 2 of 3?
This is 4.
Yes. Oh, this is 4. Yes, this is the last one. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. I just want to make sure I got it. So we'll give a little bit more time. I feel like I should have like a background music or something.
Like
yeah, right. We learned next time, right? So the next time
next time.
that's how we learn.
So someone private messaged me their email if you don't want everyone to see your email. So that is an option for everybody.
And Jenny, this is Donna. I just wanted to really thank everyone for the conversation. And I did, if I missed anything, if you want to put it in the chat, that would be great. But highlights or key takeaways: crisis fund, respite, and childcare supports to study, supports for special needs, mothers with special needs children, safe and affordable childcare, legislative reform regarding FAFSA and financial aid to include childcare, mental health supports and wellness supports were some of the key things, and crisis funding were some of the key things that I heard. I don't know if anyone else heard anything else, but we don't want to miss any gems or things that we can take forward in our work. So if we did, please we didn't mean to put it in the chat. And, you know, as we continue our journey in our organizations and with Aurora, the amazing Aurora Foundation, I think this has just been eye-opening for me, and I appreciate everyone's vulnerability, and to Alysha and Jenny and Marie for planning this, and just kudos. So thank you for allowing me to be here to listen.
Thank you, Donna, for coming. And thank you for pointing those key things out. That's very important to note. It's an eye opener for me. I learned a lot during this forum too. I have maybe like 2 more questions to ask, but it has been very insightful for sure. So 1 to 2 bedrooms. I got the poll. Are you gonna read them, Marie?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Sure. How many bedrooms do you currently have? 82% 1 to 2, 18% 3 to 4, and 0 at 5 or more. How many bedrooms would you want? 9% 2, 73% 3, and 27% 4 or more. How many children do you have under the age of 18? 45% 1, 55% 2 to 3, and 0 4 or more.
Okay. I would like to ask, what would supportive housing include for you and your children? I'm gonna like ask 2 questions at once. So that's the first question. And then my second question would be, what type of like aesthetics or living environment do you think is important for you and your children? So is it like a locked mail package delivery? Is it a garden? Is it a washer and dryer? I know that's so important for me. I cannot live anywhere without a washer and dryer. Is it a healthcare center? Is it a study center? So what would the supportive housing, the aesthetic piece of it look for you? But like, what else could we, would you imagine for it to include? Childcare? You could put it in the chat and Jenny would read it, or you can speak. I would love to see your voice, see your face, hear your voice for your input.
I would say all of the above. Everything is needed. Years ago, when my kids were younger, I had Imagineers, Section 8, and they had a program called the Self-Sufficiency Program. I was going through some issues and I moved away to clear my head. So I moved to New York and I asked about it, but not every Section 8 program has that self-sufficiency program, which while you're on Section 8, they kind of like have an account set up where you contribute a certain amount. They take some percentage, I don't know if it's 10% or what, from your rent and put it in an account. And when that, I think it's 2 years is over, that money goes towards you purchasing a house.
Oh.
When, yes, when you're doing this process, I remember them saying something like you go to the home buying education program or stuff, but they assisted you with this. It's been a while since I had the Section 8, because once I became a LPN, I lost all of a sudden I'm making too much money now. So I had to pay my own rent. So when, but I would tell people I know, ask your Section 8, ask them, do they offer a self-sufficient program? Do they have that? Because the clients wouldn't see, they don't actually see the money coming. They're not like, say, here, $20, put it towards that program of me owning a home. But if they're paying $200, maybe they say $5 or $20, and they also help you with anything. The goal is to make you be self-sufficient. That way you're not dependent on welfare, anything at all. Like you can do everything yourself. And that program is one of the stuff that even though I didn't have the help, like I wish I knew about Aurora couple of years ago. I never heard anything about it until my advisor or the WIC program, Wanda Washer, she mentioned it. But I don't think I'm the only one. I think there's plenty of single parent that never heard of this foundation, don't know that it exists, and don't know that this kind of help is out there. and how much you'll be able to help them become self-sufficient. Because when I look at Aurora Foundation and what it stands for, I see basically that's the same thing. They help parent women and children, but they help them to become a point where they're self-sufficient and could manage things on their own at a certain point.
Right, that's perfect. Denise, you explained it perfectly. Thank you.
So DeQuana put in the chat, childcare, a backyard, washer, dryer. Judy says, ideally, all the items listed except no yard. Would want a park, safe, clean, within walking distance for the kids. Megan writes, washer, dryer, playground for children, adequate space, not doubling up children in small bedrooms, storage space, locked building with key card access. Maria wrote, such important information, Venice. Perhaps it would be beneficial to list all programs available for single mothers in Connecticut under one umbrella. Three says childcare, free mental health support, being able to save money, even if you, your children, your parents, your grandparents have health issues, a solid roof over your head that is affordable or rent controlled. I feel like there should be a computer lab where we can do classes for young women, college students. I'm going to add that to our dream list.
That's good.
Maybe overnight childcare.
Yep.
Yeah, for people who need to work night shift. That's
Yeah.
important.
Yep.
I feel like one of the biggest struggles, that I face, being a single mother, 2 girls, and, one of my daughter, she had an accident where she had burns to 26% of her lower extremity, and it was from hot water. And the biggest struggle that I face with that is I'm newly married. My husband is not their father, but it's just like, the support from the fathers, even if it's not the child support, just, being there. And I have to say, like, I'm grateful for my husband and I love him dearly. He loves my children dearly, but it kind of, and I think that's another part with the mental of the mother when the father isn't there. And I wish there was like more meetings like this where moms can just come together with ideas and, just have a session where we could just talk and just get everything off of our chest and just say, you know what, I feel better, but I feel like the biggest struggle that I face is, my youngest daughter, her dad, he hasn't paid child support in 2 years and she's almost 3. And it's just like, I need some help. Like, yes, I'm grateful I have someone to help me, but it's like, I want your help. Like, it's a lot. Like,
right.
And I think that's a part about being a single parent that kind of gets to me and really bothers me, because it's like, you're walking around free with your 2 long hands at your side. And then you're like, oh, well, you're married and you have a husband. Well, he can help you. And it's like, that's not the point. And then it's like, sometimes you have to condition your mind to like, I have to do what I have to do. But like, for me, the biggest thing is the mental side of it. Like, who do you turn to when you're a single parent and you don't have anyone else to turn to? Who do you turn to? Like, who's your outlet? Who's your punching bag?
Right.
But it just leaves you with no words.
I see a lot of the mental health aspect is important, that you have an outlet to be able to express yourself and get the support and the resources that you need. That's why this forum, again, was so very crucial and vital, so that we could get everyone's feedback onto what would be helpful in any circumstance that you're in. And you guys are giving amazing feedback, by the way. Your participation is wonderful. There's some things in the chat, Jenny.
Yep. I'm sorry, they're choking me up. So Sri is writing, I'm snapping like mad over Karima. Yes, 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 yes. But then she writes, who do you talk to when you have to be strong for everyone in your life?
I know exactly how that feels.
Yeah. And especially when your children are looking up to you and you have to be strong for them because, you know, you don't want to be crying and those kind of things. And it's definitely a struggle. We definitely need support. This is not easy. We make it look glamorous and we're superheroes and we're very strong individuals, but we need support. Creating a community that's going to be able to provide resources, you know, that is our goal. That's the mission of Aurora, to help people. And your voices tonight have, they will be heard. I'll make sure of it. I'm here for everyone. I'm your voice and you guys are sharing your voices, but hopefully there will be some type of outcome from this. I can't see the chat, so I don't know, Jenny, what everyone else is saying.
Venice said, who do you trust? I have trust issues, so it was hard for me to disclose what I was going through. And Sri said, Venice, no one. I have trust issues also.
Okay.
And I would just share, it's Donna, you know, Aurora Foundation supports the Career Women's Program, and a part of that is coaching. And it's a voice, it's listening. It's that forum where you could just get it off your chest and we can talk about anything that's happening in that space, very similar to this conversation. And someone mentioned it earlier, and you're right, just getting it out sometimes is it really helpful. So maybe finding those resources on campus, if we can connect you to those resources, that will be, you know, great. I'm not saying we're the perfect solution. Sometimes it works for individuals and sometimes it doesn't, but I've just found the value of being a coach and being that ear. It's difficult not to have the answers. I see even Alysha wanting to solve all the questions and problems. And
yeah.
I think even at the end of the day, it's cathartic to just be able to have that moment of just letting it go, to kind of walk back into it again. So thank you all for your vulnerability and give yourself some grace. You're doing some wonderful stuff. You're carrying a lot. So don't feel like you have to be it for everything and everyone. And you could take 5 minutes for yourself, 10 minutes for yourself, a day for yourself to pull it back together again, so that you can continue to be strong for everyone.
Well, and I think it might be a great idea. We'll follow up with all of you by email with your gift cards, but also with some resources, and we'll reach out to see. So I've been doing a program this year where I have a peer group and we meet we have a Zoom once a month, and it is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Like there's something about connecting with other women. We encourage each other. We, you know, offer sympathy and support. So that might be something that comes out of tonight, that we, you know, we set up a way for you all to be in contact with each other. But also that I can think of some specific programs that I would love to connect you all to. For those of you who, Alysha knows, who have Section 8 vouchers, there's a program, a mobility assistance program to get folks into suburban apartments if you want to move out of the place that you are currently. So that we just spotlighted at an event of ours. So I will get everybody information about that in the follow-up as well.
Perfect. Good stuff. I saw someone put something in the chat with my name. I just can't see.
Let's see. Megan wrote, hopefully our struggles can pave the way for better resources for women in the future. If no one opens up, then no one knows the problems exist. This is a beginning. And Margarita said yes. And Marie said, perfect point, Megan. This is just the beginning. And Venice wrote, I am currently finishing my capstone project. I choose to do it as a business plan. I want to open my home assisted living facility that focuses first on mental health issues, then the client's physical health. I want to find a building that will be able to house a trade school that trains PCA, NHA, sorry, I had to take off my glasses because they were reflecting, with the residents being the clinical and the students' needs. I am also looking to make sure there's a support system in childcare. Daquana wrote, thank you. Margarita wrote, thank you.
Sure.
Sri said, Venice, you put it into the atmosphere, it will come to fruition. Donna said, you are amazing. Thank you for making this happen. Oh,
What
that was
about-
to me, sorry.
What about Cherie said something, Alysha, something, the Aurora Foundation. I can't see all the chat. It just kind of pops up a little bit. I see the
Sorry.
beginning.
Sri said, I recently started a business in partnership with my son, hoping to get it up and running this summer. It was Shonda who wrote that. Sorry, that's me and my.
Shonda.
And Margaret asked, what store will the gift card be from? So we're going to do online gift cards. So we were thinking Walmart, but if you all want to chime in and tell us what you want, tell me.
Who's SRI? You asked me a question, but I can't see it. I can't see you.
Oh, maybe she put it directly to you. That's probably what it is.
Oh, you put it directly to me. Let's see if I can figure out.
You go down maybe at the lower portion of your screen.
Oh, here we go. I found it. It says, Alysha, I just wrote to you saying, Alysha, you just have the aura of love and compassion. I feel your kindness and you lifting us up. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I feel overwhelmed with I guess the word is compassion, empathy, for everyone. Everyone's going through the struggles, but we're all so strong, which is amazing. So I'm just grateful that we were able to have this important conversation, and have these vulnerable moments, because it's important to let your voice be heard. What do you need? How can you get assistance? Thank God Jenny's here and she's gonna reach out resources, and something as kind as a gift card, it helps. When you want to go to the store and get to, especially a Walmart, you can get salmon.
Daquana wants to get a cute outfit, which I totally support. Maybe we'll go shopping, Daquana.
Exactly.
I'm gonna come pick you up. We'll go shopping.
Yeah. So
I just, if I can jump in for a second, I just wanted to say, deeply grateful for all of you for turning up and opening up tonight and sharing and just, reiterating what Alysha and Jenny and everyone have said, but also just to point out that I think, the way that you have all opened up and shared for each other tonight, that's why I got involved with Aurora, because Aurora is a bunch of amazing women wanting to support women and girls and really doing the work. Need to hear from you to know what the work needs to be. And I think the important thing is for you to know that there's short-term ways that Jenny and Aurora are going to be able to support you. And then there are longer-term ways that we're looking to do. We're looking to build something for the future that's lasting and that's there and that keeps lifting people up after you all graduate, after the next round graduate, to make that happen. But I think, Jenny has a lot of ties and Aurora has a lot of resources that in the short term, will be able to reach out and provide you some help and some support. And boy, if there isn't anything else that you learned tonight, look what it is to open up and be vulnerable and have that chance to just say, I need help and this is hard and I'm tired of being strong and I'm weary, and know that that's okay, and find the spaces where you can do that. But thank you.
And thank you, Suzanne, you're amazing. And I just want to say, well, for my last thought, I see there's a lot of stuff in the chat, which I think Jenny might read off, but I just would like to say, please give yourself grace. I think Donna said that earlier, but it's so important to just give yourself grace. We are moms and students and caretakers and employees and all of these various things. And sometimes it's just so important it's so easy to forget that we're also human, and we need to extend grace to ourselves as we extend it to other people. We go to work and we care for people. We come home and we care for people. We out in the community and we care for people. But make sure you are caring for yourself. Make sure that you are taking 5 minutes to even lock yourself in the bathroom and do, just breathe, and to put yourself as a priority, and just extend grace to yourself because you deserve it. You guys are all very amazing, super, super, super amazing. And I'm so grateful that you came out to this forum and shared your voice, and it's going to be amplified and it's going to be great. And hopefully we'll be able to do what we would like to do and to get our goals out there. We're so excited. And so thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jenny, I don't know if you want to read off what is being said, but I think everyone is saying thank you.
Yes, they are. And so I put my email in the chat for everyone. Feel free to reach out to me. I will follow up. Let's see. Bria wrote, "This has been an absolutely beautiful and insightful conversation. Blessings and light to you all. Stay strong, everyone. Take time for yourself when possible. Try meditation." Megan wrote, "Thank you. I appreciate this chat. With the follow-up resources, is there any help with job placement opportunities post-graduation?" So I will see what I can find for that, specifically, Megan, but also my email is in there, so you can reach directly out to me and we'll see what we can connect you with. Benice wrote, "Is Aurora a private institution? How do I let others that are struggling know how to reach out to you? Do women need to be referred? Thanks." So Aurora doesn't directly provide money or services. We fund programs that provide supports. But I'm happy for any of you all to reach out to me, and I'll do my best to connect you with either organizations that I know about or some of the other women who volunteer for Aurora will step up and provide help or support too. Sri wrote, "This is one of the most supportive and wonderful virtual spaces I've been in a while. Thank you, Alysha, Jenny, Suzanne, and Donna."
Oh, you're welcome.
Carol wrote, "Great job, Alysha," which I and Judy said, "I'd put up a heart or applause reaction, but my reaction buttons are not there. Thank you."
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you all so much. And Alysha, you rocked it. Boy, you did a great job.
To be nervous. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You were awesome. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. My first time being a facilitator, so I'm appreciative of all the kindness, your kind words. Thank you so much.
Well done.
And I hope everyone gets good sleep tonight. All your children are safe, and I'll be saying a prayer for everyone. Okay. And meeting adjourned.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes,
Thank you,
you're welcome.
Alysha.
Bye-bye. You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, I think I got all of the email addresses out of the chat.
Oh, good.
That's good. Everybody had very different ideas about where they wanted their gift card from. So
I think Walmart was a good day. A lot of people said Walmart.
yeah,
I said,
I'll look and see
Walmart. What was unanimous? We should have made that a poll question. Where do you want your gift card? from Walmart, Amazon. I saw a few places too.
Yeah, my favorite was TJ Maxx was from Jaquana. That
Oh
was pretty
boy.
hilarious. That made me laugh.
TJ Maxx does have a lot of stuff for cheap. I won't say I'll agree.
Oh no, I love a TJ Maxx
Yeah.
for sure.
So am I able to, are we still recording? People are still leaving? There's a lot of
People are
people.
still leaving. I can